feel free to post your questions in the chat as we go along. We will be keeping an eye on them together with Brefni and Ilkay, who are kindly supporting the moderation of the questions and answers session. We will also keep an eye on the time today, as we'll need to switch to a different Teams room for part B right after the session. So, without further delay, I would like to give the floor to our first speaker. It's a pleasure to welcome Rachael Ballard, Editorial Director of Transdisciplinary Social Science at Palgrave, Macmillan, Springer, Nature. Rachael, the floor is yours, and thank you for your participation today.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me to give a talk today at this workshop. I'm really delighted to be here. I'm just going to try and share my slides, so hopefully you won't have any technical problems. Hold on. Okay, can you see my slides?
Yes.
It's all fine? Thank you very much. Okay, yes. So as Janos mentioned, my name is Rachael Ballard. I'm Editorial Director for the Transdisciplinary Social Science Books team at Palgrave. We're part of Springer Nature. And today I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the publishing process and try and demystify the publishing journey with a view to focusing on putting together your book chapters and why that's important. But I'll also give you some tips and advice on what to think about if you decide you want to publish a book further down the line in your career, which might be useful. So here's the agenda for the talk today. First of all, we'll look at book publishing at Palgrave more broadly. I'll give you a quick overview of our publishing formats, the steps to publication, give you some resources for first-time authors that might be useful, and then there should be some time for questions at the end, I think. So first of all, book publishing at Palgrave. We are part of the Springer Nature Group. We are an imprint alongside Springer, Nature, Macmillan Education, BMC, Scientific American. We merged with Springer in 2015, and we've been part of the Springer Nature Group since then. So in terms of book publishing, the kind of things that we really focus on at Palgrave and Springer across the whole group, our ebooks have over 50 million users for more than 10,000 institutions worldwide. We're a global company, and we cover all disciplines from STEM through to HSS. We have a flexible range of book formats to suit a range of different projects, depending on the topics, depending on the depth that you want to go into. And our books are all published in print and digital editions. And there's a big core focus on discoverability and accessibility to maximise the usage for all of our authors. And crucially, peer review is one of the key things that we really focus on to ensure that we have quality content that we're publishing. So in terms of the formats that we publish, as I've mentioned, we publish across the range of different formats. We publish our reference works, which are comprehensive and prestigious. So these are major encyclopedias or handbooks. Then we publish our monographs in edited volumes, which really are our sort of bread and butter publishing formats. And then we publish advanced undergraduate textbooks, which are aimed at course adoptions. And then we have our short format pivot, which sit between a journal article and a standard length book. And these are 25,000 to 50,000 words. So these are quite a good halfway house between a standard length book. So what are the reasons to publish a book or a chapter? First and foremost, it can really help to accelerate your career. If you've published a number of journal articles, but you've got more that you want to say, publishing a book or publishing a chapter in a book can really help to kind of establish your career trajectory. And some authors have told us anecdotally that it's helped them to get a promotion if they have published one or two books. It really does help you connect with your research community in a different way, as opposed to just publishing journal articles, and it does help to build your reputation and cement your legacy in your particular field. So So for the purposes of this group, I've put together some tips on why you'd publish in an edited volume. So from your perspective, it does allow early career researchers to publish alongside more established academics in the field. You will generally reach a broader audience when you publish in a book, and it can give you greater reach than a journal article might give you, and it gives you more room to develop those ideas as well. It does give you an opportunity to grow your network and collaborate in a slightly different way across your subject community, and it does allow contributors to raise the profile of your work alongside more established academics in the field. Crucially, I think, if you're publishing in an interdisciplinary subject area, it can allow lots of different perspectives to be included in one volume, which I think is really useful. And if you've got a really well-edited volume, it can really hang together nicely, and you get a nice introduction, conclusion, and then you've got the interdisciplinary perspectives in the middle. Finally, it's a really valuable experience to publish in a book format without having the responsibility of having to lead the volume. So if you've taken part in an edited volume, you might feel inspired to lead an edited volume yourself further down the line. There we go. So 6 things you might want to consider when you're writing a book chapter. Really try to follow the instructions that are issued by the book editor. Hopefully they will have given you clear instructions about what the book's going to be about, how your chapters will sit alongside the others, but don't be afraid to ask questions either. I think you really do need to be aware of the proposed scope and overall content of the entire book, and how your chapter will sit alongside your colleagues' chapters as well. And when you're writing a chapter, think carefully about the audience. The book that you're writing for, it will generally be a broader audience than a journal article, and you might have to write slightly differently. Always ask to see the proposed table of contents, so then you can see how the subject matter of your chapter fits alongside the rest in the book, and this might inform your approach. And I think finally, you really do need to adhere to the deadlines set by the book editors, because it only takes one chapter author to drop out and then the whole book is delayed. So it can cause quite a few problems. So really try to adhere to the deadlines that are set by the book editors, and don't be afraid to ask for feedback, ideally from the editors, but also from your peers, because all feedback is useful. So now I'm just going to quickly take you through the steps to publication, which might be useful and might help kind of put a few things into context. So generally the publishing journey is as follows. We ask editors or authors to submit a book proposal, which we would then send out for peer review. This usually takes between 4 and 5 weeks. Once we get that feedback, we send it over to the authors or the editors to respond to that feedback. And if we're happy to take things forward, we're then in a position to offer a contract, and we work out a time frame for delivery of the book to the publisher. So the timeline from proposal to publication, typically it's around 18 to 24 months from submission of the book proposal right through to the publication. So you submit the book proposal, we send it for review, we agree a time to write the manuscript, we then sometimes review the entire draft manuscript. It goes into over to our production team, who undertake the typesetting and editing, and then we have publication. There are a number of factors that influence that time frame, as you can see here. Anything down to the quality of the book proposal or the submitted manuscript. Obviously, the time taken to write the book can change depending on the authors, and the production time can vary depending on any issues that might crop up. So the peer review process, obviously our goal is to provide constructive feedback that will eventually result in a better book. Palgrave has a single blind peer review process, and we usually seek 2 to 3 external peer reviews in order to take things forward. And as you can see, peer reviewers are asked to answer a set of guided questions, which we've listed here. Generally, we ask them what are the strengths and weaknesses of the proposal, does it engage with scholarship, is it a useful contribution to the field, and what revisions would the reviewer suggest? And it's typically a very constructive process. We very rarely get, very negative reviews. So we find it's a very useful process for our authors. And this is just briefly what happens when you're preparing your manuscript. So as I've said, you draft the manuscript, you need to clear any third-party permissions. before you submit the final files to us. The production process usually takes around 5 months from submission of the final manuscript through to publication. And during the production process, this is where the manuscript is copy edited, typeset. The editors or the authors will see the proofs, and then we publish the book. And this is just kind of an overview of what happens after publication. So we try to promote the book as broadly as we can alongside our authors and editors. We attend 150 conferences annually, both in person and virtually. We have numerous social media platforms where we promote your work. Our marketing teams are global, and they will send out various things like email campaigns, themed campaigns. We are very aligned to the Sustainable Development Goals, so we do a lot of promotion alongside that. We submit books for prize portals, and we also work alongside our authors to promote the book to your networks as well directly. And then finally, I just thought I'd add in some resources which I thought might be quite useful. So we have an early career researcher hub, and on this hub there's lots of tips and advice on how to adapt your thesis, things to think about if you're considering writing a book and you're a first-time author. It's a really useful resource, actually. So yeah, I would definitely recommend taking a look at this if you are thinking about either submitting a chapter or writing an entire book. It's quite useful, but you can also contact me as well. I'm quite happy to answer questions as well. And that is it. And you can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on LinkedIn. That's my email. And I'm very happy to answer any questions as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachael, for those valuable insights from the publisher's point of view. Now let's hear our next contributor, who will share his reflections from the researcher's perspective. So, Jose, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Yanis. Thank you, Rachael, for the landscape you have shown us about the challenges for the publication of book chapters. I think it's relevant to add a few issues related to this. I think one of the issues I want to put on the table is open access books, and on the issue of open access that is increasingly relevant in the journal world, and is also coming to the books. Some large publishing houses are now opening some possibilities for publishing open access books. I think this is something very relevant to consider. I edited a book about the small-scale fisheries in Europe some years ago, and the only thing I regret is not have looked actively for the possibility of making it open access. I think it's something that increase the reach of the books immensely, and especially if the book is devoted to some subject that is not strictly academic but has social relevance. It increases immensely the audience, and this is something that I would love that publishing houses be a bit more clear about how to manage this, because it's increasingly being developed, but usually that doesn't get the visibility in the option for the authors of the editors, how to develop these open access books. I think when we publish nowadays, one of the key elements to look for is the visibility of our work, and not only the visibility, but how the audience can read us. this is a key element to choose a specific journal. The audience that is already paying attention to that journal and used to publish in that journal. Similarly, the audience of a book series is also something to think about. And Springer, for instance, has some very relevant series like the Mare series that where we published our book in 2020, and many other colleagues, and we have published a lot of chapters in different edited book in that series, and it's something that is increasingly relevant to think about this. Not only the publishing house, but the series. What are the other books that are in the same series? I think publishing house has a strong role in making accessible the books and disseminating the publication. I remember when we published our book, very soon after the publication, if you put the small scale fisheries in Europe, the first result in Google, not in Google Scholar, in Google was the title of our book. And I guess this is something that is related to how the publishing houses make visible the books published. So I think that we need to pay attention on how these books are developed. Otherwise, not all the edited books are created equal. We have books with a strong integration internally. We have edited books with a template that is common to all the chapters. To facilitate a systematic comparison between the cases that are included in the book in each of the chapters, and we have more open edited books where only some items are shared between the chapters. It's a tendency in the last years that each chapter needs to be read independently. So they are not so much strongly integrated as before, because each chapter can be distributed, can be solved independently. So this is something that has somehow changed a little bit how the book chapters are developed. And I hope you had the opportunity to have a look to the short video we recorded with Svein Jentoft in the last week. And if you have any question related to this, I think it's something we can discuss. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jose, for your thoughtful presentation and for sharing your perspective with us. So let me to make a question to both of you.